From Tally to Cali,
it's time
to wake up.
Wake up! Wake up!
Warchant.com is your ultimate Seminole sports source.
And this is Wake Up Warchant, presented by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill.
One ball, Corner Pocket.
Now here's Warchant.com's Aslan Hajavandi
and Corey Clark.
3-0, 3-0. We cover a 3-0 football team. Corey and myself, Wake Up Warchant live. Welcome on in here to YouTube. This is your Thursday podcast. Thanks so much for being here. Post your questions in the text to the side of us here, or side of Corey there, or whatever. Let us know what you're thinking. This show, as always, Wake Up Warchant live. It's brought to you by the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Since we are live, it also means we need a little caffeine in our lives. So we go to DeLunaCoffee.com, and when we go to DeLunaCoffee.com, we like to go to that shop button. We like to go to gifts, and then we like to look at all these bundles. Hot chocolate bundle down here at the bottom. If you want some cocoa and some coffee, or if you just want some coffee, right up there as well. Support DeLunaCoffee.com. They're run, owned, operated by diehard Seminole fans, boosters, alumni. They're based in Pensacola, Florida, so check them out. And as always, the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, which Corey wishes we were there, but you'll be there in a few hours. Well, like not a few hours, but like a day and change, right? Doing the happy hour with Jeff Cameron, 5:30 p.m. Friday. You're pumped for that, but not as pumped as you are for this show.
I'm always pumped for this show, Aslan. You know that. And yeah, I'll be there, Corner Pocket. Probably. I don't know. Maybe I don't think I'm going tonight. I think I'm gonna lay low tonight. But then tomorrow night there's bingo. Got to go over there for that. And then Friday night, Jeff and I have the live show over there at 5:30 until Kelsey Lamb gets on there at 8. And then you got a little live music going on. And then obviously, I hope the Lamoxon. You think they're coming into town for the big BC game?
Yeah, it's Parents' Weekend. Their son Brett is no longer a student, but why not? I mean, they're diehard Noles. 8:00 primetime game. Wake to go 4-0 and become ranked for the first time since 2018. They'll be there.
I hope so, man. Because DeLuna was with us when the football team was not very good, and it was
the world wasn't all that good either, my friend.
Correct. And so it's really cool, really for all our sponsors, but the ones that have been with us for a while, like DeLuna, it's really cool that maybe, we get more viewers now. There's more interest. There's more people coming into town. There's more people willing to spend disposable income on cool stuff like coffee. And look at all that. Look at the website, Aslan.
Incredible. Go check it out, everybody. Use the promo code WARCHANT15. You'll save 15% on your order. We're going to take your questions. Boston College coming to town. ACC home opener for the Noles. Again, 3-0, looking to go to 4-0. It'll be on ACC Network, 8:00. Also, Hotel Indigo, 4 p.m. doors open, 5:00. Everything goes down. Pregame show with Jeff and Tom. So we got you covered this entire weekend. So hopefully you have a fun one. Hopefully you're going to be here in Tallahassee with us. Let's get this party started without further ado. How about Aaron Prather? I call him Prime Prather, but whatever. We'll call him Aaron. Thank you, Aaron. $20 to start us off.
Thank you very much, man. Thank you. Aaron in the house.
Hey, Aaron. My buddy sent me a photo of a guy from, I don't know if it was Photoshop, but a player from West Virginia, and his nameplate was like uppercase A, lowercase a, uppercase RON.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I like that.
Anyhow, our guy, Aaron, is from Ocala. First time, long time. Ocala, home of PJ Williams, Dante Culpepper, and the band A Day to Remember. I know that band. I used to like them. Not so much anymore. But it's okay. We all grow and evolve. I'm sure they're doing great. Simple question, he says. If you had to bet a DraftKings or MyBookie, that's a currency we use on this program.
Right. There
you had to bet MyBookie, do we see Winston Wright or Jared Verse back first? Will this get us in trouble, Corey?
I mean, they're just asking an opinion, aren't they?
Okay. All right.
But I don't have an answer.
That's a really good
one.
question. That's really good, Aaron. It's like push.
I'm pushing on that. I think we got to stay a little bit away from that. I think it's a good question, a fair question. I think they're both about in my non-medical opinion, they're both on about the same timetable.
Okay.
How's that sound? It's probably still too much.
Yeah. This season.
Yep.
Which is crazy to think. I mean, after Saturday, we were a third of the way through the season, Corey.
I know.
I'm mistaken, right?
Yeah.
That's what makes the sport so beautiful. We wait so long, and then it's it's gone like that. But at least we're able to enjoy it, savor it, dance with it.
3-0. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Go to Miami. Going to go to Miami. Go Las Olas. Las Olas. I got Las Olas. Orange Ball. All right, let's go. Oh, who else we got here trying to party and hang out with us? Eric Angel. Look at that score, everybody. Whoa, that deserves. That's a bang almost, man. That's almost a bang in terms of the margin, but 52-14 Saturday, the Noles win. That would be incredible.
That would be something. That would be really, really surprising. 52 points is a ton. But yeah, let's hope, man. Let's hope it's over by halftime. Wouldn't that be something? I could go ahead and write my column at halftime. Get done. Already record our wake up, our wrap. Ira and I could at halftime. Yeah, I don't foresee them score. I love the optimism, Eric. Always do. And thank you very much, man. We really do appreciate it. I would, if they score, just get to 30. Get to 30 and take your chances. 52 is a little, you want to save a few of those for next week.
Absolutely. You did say, though, Corey, on the soon-to-be-dropped Warchant report, if everything was good, like if they were as healthy as they were maybe coming out of the Duquesne game or because LSU, that's when Fabian got nicked up, you'd feel like really bullish, like 3 scores bullish, right?
Yeah, I think that this roster is the totality of this roster is superior to Boston College, vastly superior. I think you've got a better quarterback. I don't know if I'd have said that 3 weeks ago, but I think you do. I think your defensive line has some NFL guys on it, but we don't know their availability. And so if Florida State was at full operational capacity, I could see maybe not 52-14, but I could see a 24-28 kind of 28-point win. Now I just fear that, because of the questions on the line of scrimmage, both sides really, and still, questions at quarterback, just get a win, man. Just get a win. Get to 30 and get a win. Just hope you can get through this.
Yeah, I hope we're not being picky out there. I don't sense any kind of persnicketyness out of our fan base. I think everybody just wants the dub. Let's just get the dub.
Yeah.
The beauty points can wait. Octavio says, hey, at some point, can we talk about the insane amount of improvement this team has undergone throughout the past 3 years? Last year, most aspects of the team were laughable. Now they're rankable.
From laughable to rankable. There's your motto. Yeah. Look, they were laughable in September last year. They were this. I mean, they were a good top 25-ish team the last 2 months of last season, and they've carried that over. If you guys listen, I hope you guys listen to this for the off season and through August. My biggest question mark coming into this season, it wasn't even replacing Jermaine Johnson. It was, can this offense take a step? Can this offense be something? Because it quite frankly hadn't been the last 2 years. And it is. If you have a healthy quarterback and your receivers can stay healthy, and whenever you get Winston Wright back, with these running backs you have, I think you have a good offense. Not an average offense, not a decent offense. I think you have a good offense. I think Jordan Travis, the way he's playing right now, is one of the better quarterbacks in the country. That's something you wouldn't have said 3 weeks ago, or certainly not a year and a half ago, or even this time last year. You certainly wouldn't have said it. So that's a huge development. And I think this offense, you just wish if they could get all their pieces and see what this thing looks like, see if it can really take off.
Man, I guess the cool thing is it's like a hybrid sort of approach, because a lot of these pieces are guys that have been in place for years at Florida State, but also it's been bolstered by these transfers. Yeah. So it's one of those things where you can't just simply say, hey, it's all just new talent, influx of talent. There has been some semblance of X's and O's organizational sort of hold taken over the program right now that has led to the success. But it really does kind of start at the quarterback position. I mean, the leaps and bounds that they've grown at that position post Jameis. I mean, we were talking, Jordan Travis has probably exceeded DeAndre Francois 2016, or we're not there yet.
Francois had some really nice moments that season, and I think his QB rating was pretty good. I think Travis is a better player than DeAndre Francois is. I don't know that the stats will bear that out at the end of this season, but man, the strides he's made from this time last year till now, you wonder, okay, if he can play and continue to play, what's he going to look like by Florida? Like, is he legitimately going to be like an ACC Player of the Year candidate? because he, through 3 games, he's looked like that, but it's 3 games. It's really 2.5 games. So if Jordan Travis can be this guy, you don't even know what the ceiling is for this offense. But the same token, NC State and Clemson, and I probably to a lesser extent Florida, maybe not Florida. I don't know if Florida's defensive line is great.
Miami's still going to be tricky.
But I was just talking about the defensive lines you're going up against. Okay. Those two, the biggest step has been the quarterback. Johnny Wilson's a huge, and Pokey and Micah. It's a good receiving core now. But then also the offensive line is better. Again, it's just such bad luck that you lost 2 guys for the year, and we'll see about Robert Scott. Like, we'll see when his availability will be. But it's just, if you could have just avoid these guys rolling into your ankles, and this team could be healthier, I would be so. I'm already excited. I would be really bullish on what this team could end up being at the end of the year.
Well said, Corey. Our guy Wes, what's up, fellas? So, I mean, come on, man. They're not Tom Brady. Spell out their names. TW8, JW4. Come on, man. This goes up there with like people that do the whole CMN.
I thought that was an S. I'm like, who is TWS?
Let's say Mike Norvell, man.
Yeah.
Coach Mike Norvell. He's not the
CMN. Yeah.
All right. They're both on pace to break 1,000 yards. Treshaun Ward on the ground, Johnny through the air. Do one, both, or neither end up hitting that mark? Thumbs up, subscribe, support the Luna and the CP. Go Noles. I got Johnny Wilson going over it.
I mean, and look, Treshaun didn't get talked about a lot he didn't get talked about enough at the Louisville game because of what Tate Rodemaker did, and then Johnny Wilson. But Treshaun Ward was a difference maker too. He had over 100 yards, I think, in 10. How many carries did he have? Not many. And then Trey Benson had 10 for 70. I just don't know that Treshaun is going to get the at-bats, enough carries. I mean, he's going to get, what is he going to have to get, Aslan? Like 200 carries? Well, he probably maybe 160 carries. I just don't know if he's going to get that many to get to 1,000 yards. It'd be great if he did, but I just think he's going to be splitting reps with Benson because of what we saw from Benson. We finally saw, in my opinion, we saw something that maybe he's ready to take off too. And then Johnny Wilson, I would say, if he stays healthy, I would guess that he's going to get there. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, for me, it's official, man. Johnny Wilson is going to be a star. I'm not going to really hesitate on that. Treshaun right now, 302, only averaging 7.6 yards per carry, though. So
that probably will come down. Some of that is Duquesne, but that's 13 carries a game. Yeah. So I guess that would 9 more games. That gets him to 100. Yeah. I mean, yeah, he's right there. He's certainly got a shot at it.
If one of these guys is going to go over 1,000 yards on the ground, it would be Treshaun, I would think, right? Or do you think?
Yes.
Okay.
No, I definitely. I think Treshaun Ward's their best running back. I know we love Trey Benson and his combination of size and speed. I just think Treshaun's a pretty naturally gifted runner, and I think Trey Benson's good. I just think Treshaun Ward is probably their best overall running back.
Total yards if Jordan Travis were to sit out this week, asks old Cod Willie.
For Jordan Travis, 0. If he sits out, I would say, what would you say, 400?
I don't know. They got a good defense. I think right now, let me see, for their total defense, they're allowing 328 on the year, Boston College. But this is the best offense they'll have faced. All right, yeah. Fine. You win. 400. Sure.
400 seems, that's a good number to hit. 430 points. That's what 400 yards, 30 points. That's what you're looking for. If Jay Travis doesn't sit and can play and can move, and he did practice on Wednesday. We are allowed to talk about that. I wrote about it. He completed a lot of passes in one-on-ones. He completed passes in 7-on-7. He completed passes in 11-on-11 versus the scout team. So he did practice. If he does play, and if he's healthy enough to go out there, I think that number goes to, I don't know, 450, 460, maybe 5. I mean, again, we'll see. But I just what that kid has done through 2.5 games, you feel like he understands this offense and the way he operated today, right, Aslan? I know it's scout team, but the decisions he's making, what he sees when somebody breaks open, middle of the field, it's never looked like this before. So you get really excited about what the potential is of this offense. They might be, especially with him at the helm, they might be ready to just take off. Like scoring 35 on the road isn't easy. That doesn't happen a lot. I know Louisville isn't great. That just doesn't happen a lot, especially with your backup. So this offense might be it might be percolating, Aslan. It might be percolating, ready to go put up a 40-45 spot on there. Maybe Eric Angel was right. Sorry, Eric.
Yeah.
They will go to for 52.
Yeah, I like to look and see the plays, but then look at Mike Norvell's reaction. Then it really lets me gauge just how well.
Yeah, man.
Playing.
And I
you
meant
look
to.
at it, you're like, man, he's really doing it. He's doing.
I need to go back into the observations I wrote for warchant.com. It's only $1, by the way, folks. It is only $1, and it's
like
ending.
Week or so. So
yeah, so you better do it quick because it's ending. We're not doing this in perpetuity. It's ending quickly. Like 9 more days into the month is all you got. So get in there now. But I meant to add in my observations that there was one throw that Travis made against the scout team where he lofted one to Pokey, a really nice throw, but just I think it was the read more than anything, and maybe the route that Pokey ran, but Mike Norvell did a huge fist pump. Not even like his normal like scream and there you go, just like to himself, like this confident fist pump, like, yep, they get it. That's what it's supposed to look like. It's just, I think they're all, brimming with confidence right now.
904 _Nole, $4.99. Appreciate you. Very kind of you.
Jacksonville, baby, right? Duval.
Corey knows.
Oh, yeah, man, I never forget that.
Mine like a steel trap. What's the word on Azaria Thomas and Winston Wright? How are they looking in practice? Azaria's out there.
He's okay. It's been interesting with AZ, right? Like he was such kind of the talk of the camp the first week, and he's struggling to get on the field. And I'm sure that's a struggle for him. This kid's immensely talented. He was kind of the talk of the camp. He probably thought he'd be starting. And here we are 3 games in, and he has not played a meaningful rep. He played against Duquesne and gave up a touchdown. So he is not – now he's out there and he's competing, and so are Sam McCall, and I think they both really like – I think they really like both of those guys. But, his RAA isn't dominating – let's just say he's not dominating practices like it seemed like he was there for a stretch in August. He certainly has all the physical ability, but he is not making the wow plays, and sometimes not even like the consistent, solid plays you need to get on the field. But I think he's going to be very good. He's got to keep coming, man. He's got a ways to go to work himself onto the field, I think.
And Winston Wright's out there sporadically. I don't know how much more can really get into without getting in trouble here. Because again, there are real repercussions.
Yeah.
He'll be back this season. I don't know when, but he'll be back this season. And I'm pretty sure, again, if you read warchant.com, which again, $1 till the end of the month for an entire year, Corey does a pretty thorough job of writing out observations and things that are going on at practice. And the moment that kid does something that warrants Corey to put pen to paper on that, it'll happen and you'll see it. You'll know it.
Yeah. If Winston, don't think that like Winston Wright had a day where he caught 4 touchdowns and we just forgot to mention it. Yeah. That's how I'll leave it. It'll be there when his name starts showing up in practice reports. You'll know that he's very close.
Thorin Michael, go Noles. Do you think we should rest Jordan for this game and let Tate do his thing?
No. I'm not of that opinion. If Jordan Travis can play, he needs to play. He's your starter. You are not in a point. This program is not in a point. Remember 2 years ago, Florida State went up to Notre Dame, and I don't think Notre Dame's starting quarterback played. I can't remember. It wasn't Ian Book. Maybe it was Ian. Do you remember that? You were there, Aslan. Who was their
18,
quarterback?
it wasn't their starting quarterback. I forgot. Brandon something. His name escapes. I think his name is Brandon something, but I'll check it out. But yeah, carry on.
But I think in that game, Notre Dame, I remember I think it was Chris Collinworth's kid. I don't know why I would remember that. Maybe it was Bob Golick's kid. I don't know. I just remember a snarky tweet about the availability of whoever their starting quarterback was against Florida State that week. And this was 2020 I'm talking about. And the tweet was essentially, it doesn't matter who plays quarterback against Florida State. You're going to win by 4 touchdowns, get healthy, and move on. Notre Dame could take that tack with the 2020 Florida State team. And he was right. It didn't matter. That was like 42-13. I mean, it was a butt kicking.
42-26.
No, that was last year. I'm talking about 2 years ago.
That was 2020, 42-26, the COVID year. And it was Ian Book who played.
Oh, no, 18, I'm sorry. Then I meant
with Taggart.
I meant the time they went up there with Taggart and Cam Akers was taking the snaps out of the Wildcat. I'm sorry. That's what I meant. Yeah. And I think it was
42-13, and Brandon Wimbush was the quarterback that played for the Irish that night.
There you go. So, that we got there, guys, eventually. Give us a break. But Florida State isn't in that position where you can just say, well, if it's close, Jordan Travis can play, but let's give it one more week and then we'll see. Man, if he can play, he needs to play. You're not in a position where you can assume wins, especially with some other injuries you might have, that you can just assume that Tate Rodemaker is going to be the guy that he was in that second half, and you're going to score 40. You're going to score 42 points with him at quarterback. You can't assume that. If Jordan Travis can play, you need this win, man. You need a win. If you go and lose to Boston College and Jordan Travis because you don't play your starting quarterback because you're resting him up for a Wake Forest game because that's the bigger game, quote unquote. Well, it won't be that big a game if you lose to Boston College. So first things first, man. Boston College is this week, and I think if he can't hurt it anymore, if the doctors tell you, look, there's it's just a pain tolerance thing, he can't hurt it anymore. The risk isn't much. The risk isn't there for him to exacerbate the injury. Then I think if he can go, he goes because he's the better quarterback, and you need as many of your good players on the field for ACC games as possible. What about you, Aslan?
I would start Tate.
Oh, all right. Well, there you go. Good counterpoint.
I'd rest him. I mean, I don't know what injury cannot be exacerbated. If it's a sprain, it can get even worse. I mean, if it's a break, it won't. I mean, if it's a broken bone, it's a broken bone. Then it becomes a pain thing. It's like, I don't know, you're going to try to make it through 9 more weeks of football, 8 more weeks of football until you're going to put a pin in things. That doesn't seem very practical. But again, we don't know the extent of his injury. We do know he was out there practicing and performing quite well. To Corey's point, you don't.
I mean, he looked pretty darn good on Wednesday. Again, it was a lot against the scout team, but I will say there will be a math and equation where you have to say, okay, is 62% Jordan Travis better than 100% Tate Rodemaker? What number does that get down to in your mind where you think, okay, he's 65, he's 70, he's 46? Like, what number is Jordan Travis at where he's better than 100% Tate Rodemaker? And that's why coaches get paid money, man. You have to make those decisions. But if he can go, I just don't want you to do what you did to Wake in 11, where you just were like, EJ was an emergency quarterback. Clint was great against Clemson. We can beat Wake with Clint. And then all of a sudden you find yourself in a 2-touchdown hole and you're like, okay, well, no, let's go play EJ. Well, it's like you should have, if you could play EJ late in the second quarter, you could have played EJ to start the game. That's all.
I think he'll be all right. I think he'll perform fine. I just worry if he can protect himself. I just wonder if he's going to be able to, that's what I'm most concerned.
Yeah, I agree.
Shout out to Jeffrey Johnson. We got juice here. Now let's go. What? 100 American. Thank you, Jeffrey Johnson. Shout out.
Thank you very much, man. What kind of car is that?
Maserati?
Oh,
maybe Ferrari. I don't know. Yeah, let us know, Jeffrey Johnson. And with your 100 American walking in here, give me that walking around money. Thank you, Jeffrey.
Thanks, Jeffrey. Thank you very much, man.
Love my Noles, all caps. Is there a way the Noles can go 9-3 or 10-2? And who would we end up losing to in those scenarios? Absolutely. Those are possible. Sky's the limit. Sky's the limit.
Yeah, I definitely think more so than I thought.
When we can start talking playoff, Corey. If they get past NC State, then we can start talking playoff.
I mean, you say that facetiously.
I'm not. I'm serious.
Yeah, if you beat NC State, and I mean, look, you got to beat BC, Aslan. Look, on this show, as we talk about all the time, we take it one game at a time here on Wake Up Warchant. We're not looking ahead. We don't look ahead. We can't. Since we've been doing this show, this team has never had a winning record. We can't look ahead and just assume W's. But if you get to 5-0, which is a big if, but if you get there and then beat NC State to go 6-0, you're going to be 11th in the country. I don't know. You're going to be welcoming Clemson, who might be undefeated as well. We'll see how they look against Wake. And all of a sudden, you're like, yeah, whoever wins this game has the inside track to winning the Atlantic Division, which means you have the inside track to winning the conference. And then, yeah, you're in the playoff hunt, baby. But, yeah, that's going to be hard to do. I just, gosh darn it, I just wish they hadn't have gotten the rash of injuries. It was so awesome for them to battle through that adversity and win that game Friday night. I just wish they didn't have to have 4 guys helped off the field. If those guys, you knew for sure, and if you knew for sure Fabian Lovett, man, this is a good football team. This is a team capable of winning 9 games for sure. It still might be because those guys will come back. But man, it would be so cool if you were healthier. That's all.
Man, I have anxiety because there's like a fracture of light that is coming through and hitting you on your shirt. And it looks like someone's like trying to assassinate you. Like there's like and every time you move, it feels like they're trying to snipe you and scope you out. So like just
right there, try to look at that flash of light right there, big
everything
dog.
all right there though? Everything's safe.
It's coming through the blinds. There's a little sliver of sunlight coming through my blinds.
Sure. Just want
I appreciate it. You want me to take my shirt off? Then you wouldn't see it. You just see that white chest.
Now we're talking. Thank you very much, Jeffrey. We appreciate that, man. That's awesome of you.
Thank you very much, Jeffrey, for sure.
Lorenzo Miller ponders aloud. Will we see Deuce Spain this week?
Well, Spain. And, I mean, he'll be on the sideline. I don't know. It's hard. I was surprised that it seemed like Darian Williamson kind of usurped him in the rotation for the Louisville game. And then there's nothing that's in practice that's led me to believe that Deuce Spann will be a big factor in this one.
Quantrell knows, Corey, that Johnny Wilson segment was hilarious on headlines. Remind Jeff how he said Brian Burns wouldn't amount to much in the NFL, only has 25.5 sacks in his first 3 years.
Quantrell, Jeff does not like to be reminded when he's wrong. That was clear. I think we all saw that.
I didn't see that part. We're not dunking on. We're no Warchant on Warchant crime here, Quantrell.
That's right.
Island Chief, my bookie has the over/under at 48.5, with Florida State as a 17.5 point favorite. I can confirm that over at my bookie. Use a promo code Warchant. Your first deposit will be doubled. What's more likely, Corey? Over on the points, 48.5, or hold them under on the points? Well, I guess the total. I mean, BC ain't going to score 40.5. We'll hold them to under that. Yeah, I don't know, man. Florida State scores 30-ish. Boston College's left tackle, their starting left tackle, did practice on Tuesday. So I'm not sure if he practiced on Wednesday or not. So that helps them a little bit offensively up front. I mean, Zay Flowers is a threat.
Yeah, he can play, and they're going to throw the ball to him a lot. They're going to try to get the ball to him a lot. And your pass rush might be affected without some guys. So, I think 30 to 20 is kind of the area, the kind of the score range that I'm thinking, somewhere in there. So I don't know if that answers the question. I don't know what's more likely. If I did, I wouldn't be doing this. I'd be out in Vegas in my mansion. I'll
say under. I'm gonna say under. I don't think Boston College has the explosiveness nor like a fast tempo offense to put together enough drives to go, score on this defense. The defense is going to be susceptible to some things, but I think they'll bend a lot. There won't be a lot of breakage, but there'll be a lot of bending probably.
Okay. All right.
So thank you, Island Chief. We'll probably see you on the Renegade Express for Friday's program. And he just gave us money. Buy me a beer when we meet.
You got it, man. You got it.
Thanks, Island Chief. That's awesome, man. Appreciate that.
Yeah,
all right.
Thank you very much. Well, yeah, Aslan will definitely buy you a beer.
The Huguenot Hour. Do we see Trey Benson have a breakout game Saturday?
Maybe. I mean, we did get him today, and he did talk about, he said he was being patient. I looked it up because I wrote a little bit about him in a notebook. I didn't realize that until that drive in the fourth quarter, he had 5 carries for 9 yards. That's not cutting it. And then my man has a 7-yarder, a 12-yarder for a first down, and then a 37-yarder. That's just, again, when you see yourself do it in a game that matters, it just buoys you with confidence. And I think he will run harder and better than he did against LSU and through the first half of that Louisville game. Now, a lot of it is line play too. I get it. But there were he wasn't other than throwing dudes off him against Duquesne, just like picking them up and throw them away like children. He wasn't like breaking a ton of tackles like he should be able to. And I just thought in that Louisville game, especially after that 12-yard run, to shake off a face mask like that and just keep going. And then the way he finished. Now, Atkins brought it up, and I think said even he would like them to finish better near the goal line. I thought he finished really well on that run. Didn't you, Aslan? Like he split 2 guys and fell to the one. Like he almost got in there because when he gets going, he is a big dude. He's hard to bring down. He's going to fall forward. That said, I don't know if he's going to have a breakout game. I hope he does. He seems like a cool kid, and he's good. They need all 3 of those running backs to produce.
I guess everything here is relative and subjective. It's like, how would you define breakout? Like Johnny Wilson Friday night, that was a breakout.
That's a breakout. Yeah,
that's a breakout game.
100 and a touchdown, 120 in a touch, maybe 2 long runs. I don't know. I don't know what you define as a breakout game, but something where like he's on the scroll. How about that? That's how you judge a breakout game, right, Aslan? If you're on the scroll during a college football game and it says FSU 30-20, T. Benson 11 carries for 141. That's a breakout game. Get your name on the bottom line scroll.
Mav, thoughts on AJ Duffy? Is the talent there like it's been advertised, and has he improved some since the spring? I'm guessing he's saying.
Yeah, look, he still has some freshman moments. It's hard to know. What's hard about it is because no other reporters really in the country, including this guy, has ever gotten to watch practice consistently before. I don't know what a true freshman quarterback is supposed to look like, but there are growing pains. So I doubt many true freshmen just come in and see everything great and make all the great throws, especially if they're working with second and third team guys. So it's really hard to judge. You have to have the context of him being young and not knowing what other true freshmen look like. I will say this. I know that a lot of people at halftime of that Louisville game were calling for AJ Duffy. I was not. I was calling for the Wildcat. Just hand it all, just run the ball 40 times. Because I didn't think – I've watched him practice. As bad as you guys thought Tate Rodemaker was, I knew he was I thought anyway that he was a better answer than AJ Duffy. And I still think that now. It's much more so now, but I think he's going through typical growing pains of a freshman. He's got some talent. Sure. He can move. He can rip it when he gets his feet set. But there are some kind of head scratchers too, where you're like, well, that ball didn't come out of his hand. Great. That was weird looking. But I said to say, I got to watch Jameis Winston practice once as a true freshman. Jimbo would always open up one practice in August. And I remember seeing him and going, all right. He kind of had a weird throwing motion. He didn't seem to have a lot of pop on the ball. And then, it turned out that he was awesome. So what do I know?
He was good. Oh, there he is. God, I've been worried sick. I've been worried sick about Ray Pereira, but Ray's here. He brought Ben with him and his buddy Ben Franklin as well. Let's go, Ray. Oh, man, I missed my mark.
Oh, man. What?
What's up, Ray? What's up, Pillar? Right there, man.
Ray
right
coming
there.
In huge as always.
The tomahawk, 2 hundo, man. We're 3-0. Everybody's feeling generous, loving. Sky's the limit.
Wait till we get this thing to 6-0 going into that Clemson game. Are you kidding? We're gonna have to do a live show every night.
I think Jeffrey Johnson might let us drive his Maserati. He might sign it over to us after a couple more dubs. What's up, Ray? Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you very much, Ray. Thank you. That's incredible.
You're the man. Jumping way far ahead, and imagine if we have a good year, we have to get Jordan Travis back because all the good ACC quarterbacks leave this year. We could be playoff formidable. Corey and Aslan are the A team of Warchant. Go Noles.
Amen. Amen, Ray.
He's the A team of pillars. You're the A team of pillars, Ray.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, if Jordan Travis comes back for what would be, I think, his 11th year of college, that's it. Look, there you got other guys too, though. Like Johnny Wilson's draft eligible. There are guys that you might be losing. But yeah, there's a chance you could have a really good quarterback coming back, and a very experienced team coming back that knows how to win. That's a big thing, man. Like if this team can get to 8 or 9 wins, it's already proving it can win close games and make plays that matters. When it matters. I mean, man, imagine them 8 or 9 wins, and then bringing a substantial part of that team back the next year. There will be real hype and excitement about this team, and it will believe it can win, which is such a big deal, man. So yeah, man, from your keyboard to God's ears, Ray, let's hope. They would be, they'd certainly be, I don't know, if they win 8 or 9 games, then Jordan Travis comes back and some of these other dudes that are draft eligible stay. Yeah, you could see a top 12 ranking to start the season.
I do wonder.
Let's get there first, right, Aslan? We got to cross that bridge.
I mean, they're going to be 4-0. Probably, I don't want to shortchange Wake Forest. I'm not marking that as an automatic win right now. I know some people think that Wake Forest hasn't looked all that great this season. I think Liberty's a tough game. I know that was at home. So I kind of want to be able to watch the Clemson game kind of a little bit closely before we head over to Hotel Indigo for the whole pregame.
Yeah, that's cool. That game's at noon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
I mean, because, worst case, you're 4-2 coming on the bye. Not the bye, but going into Clemson, rather. Sorry.
You also get Wake after they play Clemson.
Yeah. I mean,
they're going to get the bejesus beat out of them.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's Navy, but yeah, there's some residual damage from playing Clemson or whatever. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. 8 to me at this point feels a little underwhelming. But you start doing the math. You're like, well, 8. Well, that means that we're going to end up losing 4 games. I mean, at this point, then if we're going to be 4-0, then we're going to go 4-4 to end the season.
Yeah, that would be underwhelming after a 4-0 start. Absolutely.
But I think the schedule's a bit more difficult, though. I mean, Clemson at NC State, at Miami. I mean, these are difficult games. Whatever Miami however they looked against Texas A&M, but that's a rivalry game. It's down there. That's going to be a lot riding on that for Mario. So,
but we all agree. I think everybody watching this show, certainly the 2 people talking to you right now, agree. None of these games, all of these games are winnable. None of these games feel like absolute losses or even like 80% losses. I mean, I think NC State.
Oh, we graduated past that after LSU.
I think so, man. I think that's where. I mean, again, but it's not like this is old hat for us, man. This program has been so mediocre since we've been doing this show. We've been doing this show for 5 years, so it would be really cool for them to go out and win these next 2 games, maybe even comfortably, and be 5. I mean, that would be unprecedented for you and I, man. Like, I've lived it. I got to cover a championship team, Aslan.
You're talking like it's systemic, like Florida State's like it's horrible. Florida State's been pretty awesome for 40 years. They've had a couple.
Oh, I'm just talking about the existence of our show. I know, all the anguish we've had.
James Blackman didn't have a 6'7" wide receiver to throw to. In 2020, they did not have Janaris and Josh Kando did not rush off the line the way Jared Verse is rushing off the line, and the way Jermaine Johnson did last season. I mean, there's pieces here that have been brought in. Man, they're just. I don't want to shortchange anything that Mike Norvell's done culturally, foundationally, but man, they have good football players. They have legitimately good football players every level, and they have some depth there, which is obviously being taxed right now. I wonder if Jordan's durability, man. I know, again, we did the Warchant report, and Jeff doesn't want to. You never want to label a guy injury prone, who knows why or what. But I do wonder how that was going to affect maybe like NFL sort of aspirations, because. Again, man, when he does get hurt, man, it's not, running free and taking an awkward slide. It's like he gets hit, man. Although, I mean, LSU tried to murder him and he got up and threw a touchdown. So
I think he was beat up after that game, but he responded fine. I mean, he still played well at the end of that game. I think, again, like we pointed out, most of his injuries come from staying in the pocket. He's not getting knocked out of games because he's running a lot. In fact, he hasn't run hardly at all this year.
Well, that's the thing, though, right, Corey? I mean, he drops back 25 times a game. He scrambles 5. So just the odds of it, he's going to get hurt.
Well, right. But people are always worried about him running too much. It's like, that ain't the issue. The issue is like blindside or him standing in the pocket a little too long and wearing a hit on a Hail Mary pass.
Thank you again, Ray. You're the man. You've always been the man.
When's Ray coming back is Ray coming to Tallahassee?
Clemson game, maybe, big dog.
Okay, all right. Be here, Ray. Come on.
He's got to pick his spots. Micro venture funding can't endorse their portfolio or their plays on the street, but we'll take their question. Does Florida State have a top 20 wide receiver core in the country? Top 15 with Winston Wright.
I don't know enough about the other receiving cores in the country. I think. Obviously, Johnny Wilson changes the complexion of everything. I haven't seen enough.
The best receiving core with Johnny Wilson, what I think Johnny Wilson is going to be, so I'm kind of projecting out. Like Josh Downs at North Carolina is a more, prolific receiver than anybody on this roster. But, man, what I think Johnny Wilson is going to be the rest of the season and what Micah Pittman and Malik McClain and Pokey are going to give you, I think Florida State has the best receiving core in the conference, and that's who we play, the ACC mostly.
I mean, they certainly are I think they're in the conversation because, like you said, it looks like they have a budding superstar and they have a guy that you have to account for. I need to see a little more out of the slot. Now, maybe that happens with Winston Wright. I wrote about Micah Pittman. Micah Pittman had, I thought, his best practice since the season started today. On Wednesday. He was very good. Made a couple of contested catches in the end zone. Made a great diving catch, running to the sideline, stopping on a dime and falling back, and make just the catches you expect him to make. But he's got 94 yards in 3 games, and this is a guy that we thought was going to be the leading receiver on the team. So I think I want to see a little more production from the slot. And right now the slot is essentially Micah Pittman. If that happens, then I'll be willing to say that, yeah, they have one of the best wide receiver cores in the country. Right now you've got Pokey had a big game. Johnny had a big game. You'd like them to all have big games at the same time, but you're going to need a third guy. I think Pittman's that dude, but you just hope he starts catching the ball. How many catches does Zay Flowers has? 22 catches.
Yeah.
How many yards?
It's sorted here. This is sorted by average yards per game. He's at 285 for the year. So
okay, all right.
So he's averaging. Where is it?
He's averaging 7
yards.
catches a game for 95 yards a game. All right. If you can hold that kid to 95 yards, I think you're in good shape.
Yeah, agreed. Thanks for the question, Micro.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah.
The Huguenot hour's back. Is that how you pronounce it? The Huguenot? Huguenot?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Huguenot.
You guys are awesome. I listen to you every morning. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. And thank you for the donation, man. That's very our lady.
Tip.
Sorry. It's a tip.
By the way, I'm going to ask you guys for a favor here eventually. Corey, I got to talk to Corey about a favor I'm going to have to ask you folks.
What is this?
Nothing big, nothing crazy. We'll talk post-production meeting. With Jared Verse out. Nice shirt, by the way, Corey. Brag on your new On3 threads.
Look at that. You like that? That's pretty cool, right?
Very nice.
I don't know. It kind of clashes with my background, though. I think I should have gone with one of the other shirts. No, and by the way, if you guys come to Corner Pocket, I'm going to have a couple On3 hats to give away. Ooh. So make sure you're there early.
All right, with Jared Verse out, who is going to step up for the pass rush? Derek McClendon, right?
That's what you hope. Dennis Briggs. Look, Patrick Payton, I think, had some nice moments in that game. He had a really good play on a screen pass where he diagnosed that bad boy really quickly and sprinted out there on a wide receiver screen and tackled him for no gain. That's a heady play for a young kid to make, especially when he's not used to playing in moments like that. He's going to have to take a giant leap, but that comes with more experience. And he's played a whole game. He gets to see himself on film. So I want to see what he looks like. But McClendon was going to play regardless. I think the guy, if Verse is out, the guy that has to step up is Patrick Payton because he wasn't going to play nearly as much. He's kind of taking over that role, and he's the athletic guy coming off the edge. Briggs is not anywhere near Verse twitchy-wise, athleticism-wise. Patrick Payton can move. So, if he can make an impact and chase that kid off his spot at the quarterback position, then that's who I think you're looking for to step up in Verse's absence if Verse is absent.
Yeah, Leonard Warner maybe kind of honorable mention. I like how you said just get him off of his spot. I don't think you necessarily have to go back and murder this guy or bring him down all the time, but just make it uncomfortable for him back there. He's athletic, but still, just make him uncomfortable and break the pocket. So
yeah. And that's what pass rush is, man. It's not in this day and age. It's not. There aren't going to be many teams that have 50 sacks. I think I read, Aslan, that Georgia has 1 sack in 3 games. That can't be, can it?
I don't know.
But they've given up 10 points in 3 games. They're leading the country in defense by a wide margin, I have to imagine. And I think they have 1 sack or 2. They just don't get sacks, but they're not. They're pressuring. They're forcing guys into quick throws and inaccurate throws, and that's what you want your pass rush to do. You want to pick off passes because guys are scrambling or having to throw it too quick.
Trying to find sacks on here, and I couldn't find sacks on here. I did see some good reps in pass rush out of Byron Turner.
Okay, Byron Turner overdrive.
Yeah, but nice to see him maybe figure out a way to get in there and maybe make a play when he's got the opportunity. Listen, Quayshawn Fuller last year was a guy that really wasn't in the rotation. But when he did get in the game, he made some pretty big plays against Notre Dame and Clemson. So maybe a guy like whether it's Patrick Payton or a guy like Byron Turner could maybe take some reps and make the most out of them. Thank you to the Huguenot Hour.
Dentist Zach is here, Corey. He's a dentist.
All right. Okay.
Dollar bills, y'all.
Thank you, Zach. Appreciate your generosity, man. All he simply says is $1, which is in reference again to a whole year membership at warchant.com. There's only $1, and you can only do that for about 9 more days, for real. So you can keep joining after that. We'll welcome you, but you're going to be 90 times lighter in your pocket. So,
yeah, it just doesn't make sense from a financial standpoint. Like we're looking out for you guys. You guys are so generous to us. We're trying to look out for you. We don't want you to wait 10 days and then you have to pay 10 times or 20 times what you could pay right now. So Z-Chan's right. My man, my dentist, my DDS, he's right.
DMD. He's the DMD.
Well, I call him DDS.
Yeah, I got you. We can't answer one of these. We're trying to get us in trouble here. Over under Tate throws for 3 passing touchdowns, or Jordan throws for 4. I'll go under on Jordan throwing for 4. That'd be a breakout. I mean, if Jordan throws for 4 touchdowns in a game, he'll be like dark horse Heisman candidate stuff at the end of college football final on a early Sunday morning.
With Reese Davis wearing the robe.
Yeah, if Tate were to start, I could see him maybe throwing 3, getting 2 to Johnny and sneaking another one in. And yeah, I don't know, man. Johnny broke out kind of after Jordan left, so maybe Jordan now, with Johnny for a full game, would be able to hook up for that many scores. But probably go under on Benson running for 100 yards too. Boston College got a pretty decent defense, and they spread that ball around a lot. So I think they're going to do really well, though, Flores. I think they're going to win probably by more than 1 score.
I think I'm going to say under on all 3 of those.
Yeah.
Also, I did look it up, and thank you very much, Z-Chan, for real. DDS, DMD, whatever you want to be called, buddy. We're here for you, and we really appreciate it. One of my good friends is a dentist. He's actually he's the Georgia team dentist, the Georgia football team dentist. He works for the university, and I was just looking that up, and I was right. Georgia has 1 sack all season.
Look at that.
And they've given up 10 total points. Their starting defense has not given up a touchdown in 3 games.
Whoa, that's amazing. Incredible.
Yeah, and they lost some. I don't know if you realize this, Aslan, but they lost some good players off last year's team.
Yeah, so I've heard. Yeah, it looks like the number 1 team in the nation is Arkansas. There was 17 sacks. It's crazy, though. The top 3 teams in the country.
17.
Well, the top 5. I guess it's average per game, which is silly. But Arkansas is 3-0. They have 17 on the year. Southern Cal's 3-0. They've got 14 on the year. So is Washington State. They've got 14. Navy has 9 in 2 games, but they're 0-2. So
okay. All right.
And then Brent Venables in Oklahoma, they have 13. They're 5th with 4.33 sacks per game.
Old Brent getting it done out there.
Yeah. Kirby not getting it done, though.
That's right. Exactly. You got to start calling for jobs. Can't sack anyone.
I mean, yeah, I'm trying to go back to thinking like 22-year-old Aslan. Like, I never gave up on Xavier Lee. Like, he was a quarterback, and we would actually see things from him. We're like, man, can we just get it together? I just don't want anything to come off mean-spirited here. There's so much interest in the status, the potential of Travis Jay. And I can't make a lot of sense out of it. I
think it's because of, obviously he was their highest rated recruit coming in that year. He was like a superstar in high school.
Oh man, like 4 seasons ago.
Yeah, I think now is the time to just, if anything ever happens in his career and he ever becomes anything of note at all in this program, be really surprised, be pleasantly surprised, but be surprised. It's just, he just doesn't appear to be a part of their plans on either side of the ball. So it's a shame because I think he had he's got potential. He's got a lot of talent, or physical talent anyway, but it just hasn't coalesced. It hasn't come together for him for some reason.
By the way, somebody's saying that the car that my guy Jeffrey was in was apparently, somebody saying a Mercedes. I don't know though. Even if it was a Mercedes, it's still like a 6-figure Mercedes. James Nealis. I'm going to say
Nealis. I would go with Nealis there.
How did I say Nealis? Where did that come from?
some like
Got Cialis on.
Cialis, yeah. You gonna go sit in the tub out in the backyard?
That was Levitro. Get it?
Oh,
right.
my bad. Sorry, that's my fault.
Our wide receivers are playing really well, James says. Are we at a point where there is a debate whether Winston Wright should actually start when he's healthy?
Well, look, man, he would be a slot guy, and if Micah Pittman's playing like we expect Micah Pittman to play, yeah, there would be a debate. Or I don't know. I guess they could move him out wide. I just think they clearly need more help in the slot. And yeah, like if he's not, again, he's coming back after not having played. It would just be good that Micah could get a break, so he could be, he could be fresher in the fourth quarter. But that what a great change up there. Whether whoever starts, if those dudes are splitting reps at slots, those guys are, that would be a problem. Like Winston Wright, go watch his film now. They don't have, Micah Pittman's a nice player. He's not, in my opinion, he's not Winston Wright. Winston Wright's a difference maker out of the slot. He's faster than Pittman. He's quicker than Pittman. But right now, you don't know when that will be. So I don't think it matters, right? When it comes to if you have a rotation of 4 or 5 or 6 guys at wide receiver, I don't really know that it matters who starts. Just if you're on the field for 30 plays, 35 plays, go make some plays, right? It's kind of like Leonard with the basketball team. Like it's who's finishing, who's on the field when it matters the most. And going back to the previous question, one of them about Trey Benson, that's what was so cool. He had 5 carries for 9 yards, and then on the game-winning drive, he had 56 yards. Got him down to the 1-yard line. Man, I was wondering why he was out on the field because I didn't like anything I saw from him for the first 3 quarters, and then he proved why I'm a dummy and Norvell knows what he's doing, and he got him down to the 1-yard line. So. He didn't start the game, but he certainly made a huge impact. I would say the same would be for Winston Wright or Micah Pittman, whoever's not starting out of those two.
I'm kind of curious to see whether, will there be kind of almost a benefit of him coming back so late in the season? Winston Wright, when he does come back, let's say he does come back in November, will he be kind of fresh and everybody else around him's a little bit weary? They've gone through camp legs, they've gone through eight weeks of the season or what have you. Granted, he's coming off an injury and has to kind of get back into the grind of a season where you're a ranked team and you're fighting for something really important. So there's kind of a give and take there. But listen, man, we can always be better, right? We can always be better and improve. But right now, man, I really like this football team, man. I'm not begging or asking for anything more right now. Man. I think if they play to their ability right now, where they're at, they'll be all right, man. They'll be more than all right. So Matthew Cash, what a fitting and apropos name.
Yeah.
Thank you, Matthew. And thank you for the cash. $20.
Yeah, thank you very much, Matthew.
I had an argument with one of my friends. Which job is better, FSU or Ole Miss?
I mean, I hope you were I assume I know what side of the argument you were on there, Matthew. And you were on the cash money side. You were on the good one. Ask your friend, when was the last time Ole Miss won a championship?
The Egg Bowl championship.
Yeah. Besides the Egg Bowl, they get to play for an egg. Awesome. Like, when have they ever mattered? And I'm not trying to be, and I know what team I cover and that they're not ranked. Ole Miss is ranked. They've been better lately. But what is Ole Miss's ceiling, man? What has it ever been? The last time I think Ole Miss was ranked 1 or 2 in the country was pre-integration.
Well, they were
wasn't it?
Well, I think they were I want to say they were in the playoff the first year, the first poll that came out. I think they were in there with Mississippi State.
I'm talking about at the end of the year when it matters.
Right.
You know what I mean? I literally, I think they were, the school was being integrated. That's how long ago it was. They haven't mattered. And I know SEC money is better than Florida State money, but your ceiling is only so high at Ole Miss. Yeah. You're not going to get, it's not loaded with high school talent like Florida is, and it's not loaded with tradition and history like Florida State is. So, yeah, it seems pretty simple. Now, Arizona State, Florida State, I don't know. Yeah, that's a whole different ballgame.
A whole other can of worms. How many sacks do we get this week? 4, says Lorenzo Miller.
It will be. I'm sure they will appreciate not having to chase around just a superb, superior athlete. That'll be fun. The kid can move, though. He's not slow. He is a running threat, but not nearly the caliber of Malik Cunningham or Jaden Daniels. All right, yeah, 4. That's good. I don't know who's going to get them. I don't know if they're blitzing. I don't know if maybe Patrick Payton has a big day. That would be awesome. Maybe McClendon found something because I thought he had a pretty nice end of that game. So and had a sack at the end of the first half. So maybe with McClendon and Patrick Payton, maybe Jared Verse. Who knows? Who knows, everyone? Who knows?
Dollar bills, y'all.
T. Giddy in the house, a.k.a. Thomas Giddings. Thank you, Thomas. He's the one that gave us those sweet FSU ice hockey shirts.
I wore that today to Publix.
There you go.
Or to an unnamed grocery store. They don't advertise with me. What am I talking about? I'm not giving them free pub. Licks.
Wake up. Haven't been able to get any FSU hockey shirts for you, but I've got something else for you guys.
Okay. What is it? Come on, T. Giddings.
It's probably the money. I guess maybe it's the $20 maybe.
Oh, sweet. Well, that's very nice, Thomas. Yeah. Either way, even if you don't do anything for us or tip us or give us anything, we appreciate it, buddy. We appreciate it. He's not Tallahassee, is he?
I don't think so.
Well, if you're in town, if any of you guys are in town, be sure to stop by and say hey at Corner Pocket on Friday night or Indigo on Saturday. We have a good time with those things.
Bill Murphy, do we have a screen pass in our playbook? Bill, Bubby. Yeah, man. They throw a lot of swing passes to the running backs. And I'm not talking about the dreaded stack trips play.
Yeah, no, they do. They had the one with Ward in the game on Friday where I just don't understand why that Louisville defender was there. Like, did he diagnose it? Did he know the play was coming? Because it's really set up well, I thought. It's really disguised well. And then it's kind of a quick throwback to Ward who looked like he was blocking. And I think it was like a 5-yard loss. And I think Rodemaker had one that was a screen that was a loss. But if you remember the LSU game, they had a big one in the first, I think it was the first half. Maybe it was the second. Who knows? It was one of the two halves where they hit Ward for about a 25-yard gain on a screen pass that was set up. Yeah, it was a third down play, and it was set up perfectly. It was a really well-designed play. So they do have some, I promise.
Sage Rubin, do you think Clemson is on upset alert October 15th?
Sage, I'll be honest with you, man. I don't even know if it's going to be an upset.
Yeah.
Florida State might be favored. What if Florida State's 6-0 and playing at home with game day coming, ranked number 8th or 9th in the country? Come on now. But
they don't have a first round quarterback right now. At least starting.
That's always awesome. Yeah.
They don't have a first round wide receiver or two out there.
They have a lot of good defensive linemen.
Yeah, they're mortal. They're mortal, though.
But they are imminently beatable. I'm not predicting a Florida State win because certainly Florida State is imminently beatable too. But you saw last year, man, Florida State can play with that team. And I think the offense is better than the one they saw last year. So absolutely, they have a chance to win that game, depending on health, of course. But if they got most of their roster ready to go, yeah, they can pull off that game.
Our guy in Perry, Pitmaster Chris, Josh Burrell running with the running back still, or is he back with the receivers? I think he's bouncing back and forth, if I'm not mistaken. I've seen him play a little more receiver, I thought, today.
I did too. I was going to say I don't remember him getting any carries the last couple of days in practice, but I do remember him lining up at wide receiver some. So I guess I would say that.
Garnet, Gold, and Glory. How many undefeated wins will it take for playoff talk?
6.
That's enough.
Yep, get to 6. We'll start talking about it.
Oh, no, 5. No, 5. Well, no. 6 would be North Carolina State, right? You'd beat North Carolina State.
If you go on the road and beat them in Raleigh, yeah, that's when you start legitimately entertaining the idea.
Now, to be Aslan and be on brand, still don't think we would be able to beat Georgia or Alabama.
Correct.
We could, but I mean, I don't think we'd be we'd be probably 2-score underdog. But hey, we just got to win the conference. Let's just win the Atlantic. Let's get to Charlotte. See what happens.
Yep, absolutely. Tell them, Aslan. Tell them.
I'm trying, man. Let's see what else we got here. A lot of people asking about Jordan Travis and Johnny Wilson. John Morton thinks Johnny Wilson top 15 pick. Also thinks Jordan Travis, could he make a roster? He'd make more money if he stayed at FSU next year.
I don't know. He makes some throws. That throw to McClain, man, in the corner of the end zone, that's an NFL throw. That's a big boy throw. I know he doesn't have the stature, and he maybe but he had, his arm is fine. It's strong enough, and he makes some really good throws. I still don't know that he's a NFL draft prospect, but certainly could be wrong, and we'll see at the end of the year. But yes, I would think if he's debating whether to go be a 6th-round pick or to try to make a team as an undrafted free agent at quarterback, and I'm not saying he would be undrafted. I have no idea. I haven't talked to Mel Kiper this week. But if he has a choice between dipping his toe in the draft waters and trying to chase his dream, or getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars, getting to live for free because these, they all get their housing paid for with a scholarship, getting to eat for free, and getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to be the biggest star in a city for one more year, he might. It certainly adds something to the equation to think about coming back.
Kyle Cruz, do we get to rush the field if we beat Clemson? Absolutely not.
Yeah, no, I don't know, man.
No, absolutely not. No,
you're allowed to enjoy it. You're allowed. It has been. What if that gets them to 7-0, Aslan?
I don't know. No, we got. Well, you still got to beat Miami, man. You still got to beat Florida. You got to get.
I'm just saying it would be Florida. It would be catharsis. It would be so cathartic for the program. They're just going to run and celebrate. What if Fitzgerald hits a 54-yarder at the Horn to beat Clemson? I think that's field rushing worthy. I would rush the field if Fitzgerald hits a 54-yarder to beat Clemson. And I'll
maybe in that
take
case.
Off my pants.
Listen, when the precedent here is beating like a top 5 Florida team to, put yourself in a position to go play for a national title.
Number 1 Florida team was the number 1 Florida team. Yeah.
If we're going to rush the field, beating number 4 Clemson in the middle of October, a little bit different there. A little bit different. So.
Kids, I would let's cross that bridge when we come to it. I might rush the field with you if they
Cousin Aslan ain't bailing you guys out. I'll scrap with you on some stuff, but I will not bail you out if you get arrested rushing the field when you beat Clemson. Not doing it. DJ,
I'm stealing the tent. I'm going to steal the tent off the sideline, the injury tent.
We beat the Heisman Trophy winning quarterback. We're going to rush the field because we beat DJ Uiagalelei. Come on.
Because you beat Dabo.
Look in the mirror. Who you are. You're Florida State fans. All right, we've neglected several people. We were 20 minutes behind in the chat. This came a long time ago. We got some.
Come on, Aslan. Let's do it.
At the hour mark here. Mark Adamczyk, our dude down in Naples. Thank you, Mark. Mark is a pillar. I think Kayvon asked, how do you become a pillar? Do you have to donate money? Yeah, kind of. That's the way it works. But we still like you guys. We take everyone's questions if they're good. But yeah, after you sort of prove yourself to be just an incredible, generous human being that, keeps the power on around here, we might put your name on this piece of granite. Mark says, over under percentage of FSU fans at Miami game. I will be there. I'll set it 41%. Tyler Van Dyke would take the under. Apparently, I think he says something he likes playing on the road better.
Yes. Yeah. Because it feels like more of a college atmosphere. Yeah. We know. We know, Tyler.
He's from Connecticut, Miami fans. It ain't like he's from, Columbus, Georgia, and had like big Friday Night Lights. I mean, he played in front of 20 people on a cow pasture. But let's thump Boston College first. I see a lot of Treshaun Ward and Trey Benson in another big game from Pokey.
All right, Mark. Well, thank you very much, by the way, man, for the tip. That's greatly appreciated. I hope I see you. I don't know if you're going to be back in town before the Miami game, but if not, I hope I get to run into you at least at some point when I'm down there for that game.
I think it'll be 50-50. I'm trying to look at Miami's schedule to see if, they could maybe lose to North Carolina. Otherwise, I think they have a pretty winnable schedule from there on out. So they'll be on the band. There'll still be enough guys on their bandwagon, but
yeah, and even when they're not very good, they show up for that game. Yeah. It's usually a pretty heavy Miami fan base. I would say 80-20. But there's always a good always a good amount of Florida State fans. Yeah, man, I think so. What if Miami's 8-1?
You're right. Yeah.
Or 7-2, and Florida State's 7-2. That's a big game. It's gonna be a lot of Miami fans that are Miami fans for that 1 week every 2 years, but they'll go to that game.
Thank you, Mark. You're awesome. The Ujino Hour? The Ujino Hour's back?
Yeah, Ujino bringing it.
If we're 6-0 and Clemson's 6-0, can we get Chief Osceola to bring the whole tribe with horses into the stadium? Imagine that. Just 50 men on horseback, 50 men and women on horseback, just galloping around, prancing around.
Yeah, and then Norvell's like the South Carolina coach. Get him off the field. Get him off the field. We're not honoring Osceola. That would be, we could, you get excited. Win this game. Just please win this game on Saturday. And you can start to really dream about
Why are you saying please to beat a depleted Boston? I know we're kind of depleted.
Because you're depleted. You're depleted. So
we're at home. We're a
I know.
17-point favorite, Corey.
I know,
Stop
man, but just
so
go
scared.
take care of business, win comfortably, and get everything all set. And there was a question in there. I don't think we answered it, but if Wake beats Clemson, which is, I mean, I think Wake's only a touchdown underdog. It's not like that would be out of the realm. If Wake beats Clemson, would game day come here next week? I doubt it, but it would be cool. It at least would be it would at least be a possibility because they'd both be 4-0. And Florida State would probably be ranked. I mean, I don't think you're going to move up that much by beating Boston College, but you might be ranked.
It's Hugh Go Not. Thank you. It's awesome. The dentist is back. Corey, I don't care what you call me as long as you call me.
Hey, man. Hey, absolutely. I get told that a lot.
He's got a lady, man. He's got a lady. Chill out.
That's right.
Wow. We got some. Oh, wow. There's some weird stuff in here. So we got some political talk going on in the chat. Chill out, everybody. Get to your corner. T. Giddings is back. I guess there's the surprise is out the bag.
Oh, nice. That has built-in SPF protection. Well, I need it.
Yeah, so he's going to throw us different shirts. Looking forward to seeing what's on them. Another $20 from T. Giddings. You're awesome, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you very much, Thomas. For real. Thank you. And again, literally, I wore that shirt today to go to an unnamed grocery store.
All right. I don't think I agree with Bradley on many things, but we agree on that. Never rush the field ever.
Well, they did it the one time.
Well, again, Michael Keith says, there you go, Corey. There are your people.
Yeah, there you
Michael
go.
Keith
There you
says,
go. Hey, just go live your life. Just be classy when you rush the field. Don't go bumping into Clemson players or talking smack to Dabo. Just go celebrate. Don't be rude. Don't be rude hosts.
If Verse is there, under 40 for Patrick Payton. If he's not there, I would say over on 40 for Patrick Payton. No.
Yes, correct. Yeah. Well, yes. I think I think 40 is a really good number, honestly, for Patrick Payton. As far as what I would set the over-under at, because I think it'll be right around there if Verse isn't playing.
Yeah. Dante, I will say yes, they will be ranked after you go 4-0 and you're 2-0 in conference and you beat an LSU. I don't know who LSU has this week. Maybe I should check that out. But that LSU one is going to continue to age quite well, I think, for Florida State on the resume. They have Auburn. So they should – no, I'm sorry. They have New Mexico. So, yeah, they'll be fine. So
LSU. Wouldn't it be great if LSU gets ranked at 3-1, but Florida State's still out at 4-0? Well,
it's because they finally figured out their offensive line. They didn't have their offensive line figured out when they played Florida State. Right. They played them now. All right, that's pretty much a wrap. We'll go out on this one, though. Mateo Josephine. Hey, all, I'm late, but should I worry about Mike Norvell heading to Arizona State? He is the betting favorite. Please calm my nerves.
I would just say this. I've talked to Mike Norvell a bunch. He seems like a genuinely pretty smart, bright guy. That would be the dumbest decision any college football coach has ever made, ever. It'd be incredibly dumb, and I don't think he's a dumb guy.
Didn't Glenn Mason leave Georgia, go to Minnesota or something crazy?
Well, no, he took the Georgia job and then went back to Kansas. Oh. That's right. That's a good one, too. He stayed at Kansas instead of coming to take the Georgia job 30 years ago. But I still, man, it just, look, it would be asinine for Mike Norvell, for any head coach at Florida State to leave for Arizona State. They don't have more money than you. I know Aslan loves the dry heat, but it's 100 million degrees out there. And they have not been good at football in our lifetimes. They've had good moments, but they have not been a good program. And maybe they just can't be. Meanwhile, in our lifetimes, Florida State's won 3 national championships and played for 5 more. So I think you stay at Florida State.
Not to mention you've probably lost at least, 5.5 years off your life trying to get this thing fixed. Now that it seems like you do have it fixed.
Yeah, to go to another reclamation project, you got to go clean up. You had to go clean up Jimbo and Willie's mess, and now you're going to go clean up Herm Edwards' mess. Like, don't do that to yourself. Life's too short.
This is the one thing, the glaring omission we made in yesterday's show that somebody brought up on the boards too, is listen, a lot of this, the reason why Herm got let go is because the NCAA is starting to smell around and kick around there. So you're taking a step back in terms of prestige and then also inheriting a program that might be facing NCAA sanctions.
Yeah, because apparently Herm just didn't care about like COVID rules and contact with the recruits and all that. And I think they lost like 3 assistants because of that, right? They left because of that. And so there's plenty of reasons not to head to Arizona State. If you're there's no good reason to go. There just isn't, unless they offer you $25 million a year. And even then, Who wants to leave Tallahassee?
All right, that's a wrap for us. I'm trying to get the name correct. I thought it came over differently. The person asked us about the Chief Osceola and the entire 50 people.
I thought that was Huguenot.
Yeah, on here it says Brooklyn Nole on my other screen on this laptop.
Oh, that's weird.
So anywho, we're done. We'll be back with another show tomorrow, Friday podcast. You're watching us live on Wednesday night. We appreciate it. We'll be doing these mostly live on Thursdays moving forward. Friday, though, Renegade Express, happy hour with Corey and Jeff. Stay connected to warchant.com, Warchant Report, the breakdown, the analysis matchup report that Austin Cox hammers out. That's like 10,000 words and is very thorough. That's over at warchant.com. Corey's practice observations. If you want to know more about what happened at practice, head over to the website. It's only $1 till the end of the month. Thank you to Thomas Giddings, Z Chan, Brooklyn Nole or Huguenot, Mark Adamczyk, Matthew Cash, Ray Pereira, Island Chief Jeffrey Johnson, Double J, my man.
Double J in the house.
Eric Angel and Primetime Prather, Aaron Prather. We appreciate it all. Thanks also to Josiah behind the scenes, making things run quite smoothly. Stay connected to warchant.com and subscribe if you haven't, or hit the thumbs up on the way out. Corey, get some deuces for us.